I'm Natasha Tarosek, a mid-sized law firm marketing manager with Thomson Reuters. Welcome to Leadership in Action, a series of short, timely, and relevant interviews with managing partners on issues important to running a successful mid-sized law firm. These podcasts are part of the Managing Partner series presented by Thomson Reuters in affiliation with the Managing Partner Forum and are hosted by John Remsen Jr., CEO of the Managing Partner Forum and president of the Remsen Group, an Atlanta-based consulting firm that works exclusively with law firms. In each podcast, John will interview a different managing partner on subject matter revolving around the Managing Partner Series topic of the month. Our guests this month include two executives from Levenfeld Pearlstein, a mid-sized law firm with approximately 60 attorneys based out of Chicago, Illinois. Rob Romanoff is the managing partner of the firm. In addition to firm management, Rob is also a partner in the firm's Trust and Estates Practice Group, where he has 25 years of experience informing his work on estate, gifts, and income tax planning and broad-based wealth and business succession planning for high-net-worth individuals and owners of closely held businesses and their families. We are also joined today by Angela Hickey, the executive director of the firm. Angie oversees all the firm's financial and operational functions, including business development, marketing, human resources, and technology, and is responsible for the strategic development and execution of the firm-wide business plan. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome, Rob and Angie. Appreciate your time this afternoon and your willingness to talk to us a little bit about your law firm and what you're doing in the context of administration, HR, and the value they bring to your firm. But before we get into our conversation, give us a little background about Levenfeld Pearlstein, its history, and perhaps some of its plans for the future. And Rob, I'll direct that one to you.
Thanks, John. Levenfeld Pearlstein was created in 1999, was born from the merger of two firms. One was historically known as the Levenfeld firm, which is largely a tax and corporate-focused firm, and the Pearlstein firm, which was largely focused in real estate, finance, and litigation. Ironically, the firms had adjoining space in the same building prior to the merger of the firm. Since 1999, our firm has grown substantially through lateral hiring. I was a lateral hire. I joined the firm in 2004. Our firm today continues to have the strengths that the firm had back in 1999. So we have a very active corporate and real estate practice. In addition, we have core strengths in a number of other areas, including litigation. We have a substantial homeowners practice, which was a legacy practice from the Pearlstein firm. We have labor and employment and IT practices. And as Natasha mentioned, we have a trust and estates practice that I'm part of. And one of the challenges we see is that very large firms are able to innovate in a way that people did not expect, and that's because they have professional management. In the mid-size segment, I think it's very difficult for most mid-size firms to accelerate the pace of change and meet the demands of the changing landscape because lawyers are busy with their practices. They can't focus both on their practices and the changes they need to implement in their law firm to be successful. We have the opportunity, because of our professional management and the quality of the people in those roles, to accelerate on the change curve in a way that I don't think our competitors necessarily can do.
Well, I'd like to add an example to support what Rob just said. In the beginning of 2013, we hired a manager of process improvement. It's a position that was undefined, that doesn't exist in other law firms, but it's something that we recognize as a need. And if we had to go through committees and show, the benchmark for what's the salary range, what is the job description, this position has been instrumental in implementing some of the innovations in process of getting the legal work done that Rob referenced in his response. And we've received a lot of attention for this position, but it's really an example of what can happen when you have a diverse perspective, and by diverse I mean you bring the lawyer perspective and you bring a professional management perspective to the business of law.
I'm curious, Angie, what sort of processes has your new manager of process improvement been working on? specific?
So he works directly with the attorneys and the paralegals in the practice groups, and they have tackled such projects as our closing book process. He helped our people to kind of get on the same page, revamp the entire process, and the case study about this particular example is posted on our website. So anyone listening to this podcast can actually go out and read what happened, what it looked like before to what it looks like now. And the ultimate benefactor of this process improvement is, of course, our clients.
Sure.
And so that's one example.
Are you tackling, say, your billing and collections practices as part of your processes, or perhaps intake?
Absolutely. And in fact, you can't do one without the other, because if you invest in process improvement and you only charge by the hour, the end result is you just decreased your profit margin, and that's not a highly desirable result for any firm, including ours. So it forces you to address your billing and your pricing strategies, which is a very positive outcome.
And we're spending a great deal of time with our attorneys getting them to focus on the value to the client and pricing in accord with the value.
Let me drill down, if I may, on the relationship that you all have as managing partner and COO of the firm. And Rob, let me start with you. And how would you describe your working relationship with Angie?
So technically, Angie is not a partner in my business, but I view her as a partner in my business and as a trusted and valued partner. Angie was the executive director of our firm for years before I became managing partner at the beginning of 2013. Angie knew far better than I what the role of the managing partner was. I had a learning curve, and I'm still on a learning curve, but Angie was very far ahead of me and is very helpful to me on a daily basis in where I should focus my time and how we can work together, each in our own way, to advance the firm's agenda.
John, I'd like to add, just from my perspective, that I think the most important thing a managing partner can do to support his or her executive director or chief operating officer, whatever the title may be, is to back up whatever that person is doing. And you have to be on the same page in order to do that. There has to be a mutual trust. And Rob and I spend a lot of time together developing that.
I applaud what you all are doing. And I understand you all run something called the LP Way. And tell us a little bit about what that involves. What is the LP Way?
Yeah, so the LP Way is actually a 5-step process that we use as a common language within the firm. The ultimate goal of this 5-step process is to create a consistent and unparalleled client experience for our clients. So we're focused beyond client service. We're focused on creating an experience for our clients that they will receive no matter with whom they come in contact in our firm. So it could be anyone from the receptionist to the billing department to someone's legal coordinator. Many firms call that position legal secretaries. We call that position legal coordinator, to the attorneys. Our goal is to create a consistent client experience, which is measured by a lot of different things, including client interviews. But the steps themselves are actually the culmination of many organizational design and management strategies that we've learned over the years. And the steps begin, I'll just go through the steps very, very briefly here for the purpose of our discussion, but the full LP Way is also posted on our website because we're very proud of the way we are organized in order to create a client experience. Because it's not so much about the desire to create the client experience, but it's the execution of how your firm is organized in order to create that client experience. And that's what the LP Way is. So the first step in the LP Way is to attract talented people. The second step is to model the LP way. Practice what we preach. This is not just a mouthpiece or a PR initiative. This is what we expect of people and what people need to do and lead by example. The third step in the LP way is to provide effective practice groups. The practice groups and the attorneys in each practice group are kind of your frontline service people. They are the ones who have the direct contact regularly with the clients. And so if those practice groups are not organized effectively and communicating effectively and planning effectively, then everything can fall apart at that point. Providing strong support systems is our fourth step of the LP way, and that's where we have to ensure that all of our systems are aligned. So you can't, and the clearest example is, you can't, for example, say we encourage collaboration when your compensation system, for example, rewards individual performance. That's two systems that are out of alignment. Classic example, happens all the time. And then our fifth step, very, very important, is to ask for feedback. So it's one thing to say that you're doing all of these things, but check in and make sure that people think that this is actually what you're doing. So we have surveys at every level throughout the firm, and we have interviews with our clients.
Well, there's certainly reasons why the National Law Journal has recognized you guys as one of its 2014, hot list law firms. You're doing so many things right. There's so much other firms can learn looking to your example. And just so you all know, I am one of the biggest fans of your website, and we're a visual society, and I'm often referencing your website as I'm out giving speeches. Well, we appreciate your willingness to share, and thank you so much for your time and your participation in our podcast series. It's been a great conversation, and thank you again, and enjoy the holidays. Natasha, I'll kick it back to you.
Thanks, John. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of the Managing Partner Series, Leadership in Action. For more information and resources, visit legalsolutions.com/managing-partner.